Hello, Justify. Hello there. So, what are you watching? Oh, just Dr. Seuss's The Cat in the Hat. Weird. I haven't heard of the film. Well, I'm actually just in the beginning, so you can join me if you want. I haven't immersed myself much yet, though. But you know what? I've actually seen the poster of this movie back then when I was a child, and I was nothing but terrified. Terrified? Of what? Duh. The Cat in the Hat, Justine. Why so? What is so terrifying about it then? Pretty sure it's not a horror film. Well, I'm not terrified no more, of course, but what I can tell you from my fearful childhood is that I am scared of this film because it is literally about a 6-foot-tall anthropomorphic comedic cat with a big red bow and a magical red and white stripe. Wait a second. 1 second. Okay, there's your second. So the cat is actually... No. Wait. So, what you mean to say is that this is not a cat in a hat. Dude, are you okay? That is literally the title of the film. No. What I really mean to ask is that the cat is not in the hat. Wait, I think I got you. Are you imagining the hat as like a room? Well, isn't that what it should be? No. It's literally a cat in a hat. So basically it's in the hat. No, it's a cat in a hat. That is exactly what I'm saying. Okay, wait. Let's clear things up, shall we? Let me ask you this. Is what you're imagining a hat containing a cat inside? Freaking finally. So that's why. Well, I'll crack it to you, Justine, huh? It's actually a cat with a hat, a tall red and white striped hat of that on its head. Literally, it's wearing that hat. Bloody shanks, I thought it's about a cat inside a hat all this time. Turns out it's a cat wearing a hat. Well, I don't know, Justine. Suppose Dr. Seuss wouldn't like his title to be a cat wearing a hat. Duh. It's too tacky, dude. Come on. It's literally better titled The Cat in the Hat, as it is. Oh, come on, Justify, admit it. You took that cat inside a hat idea into consideration too when you first heard of the film. I see it in your eyes. Well, fine. I actually did. But it's all a matter of the correct usage of prepositions. Saying that the cat is in a hat is no different from the man in a coat. And there's literally a film entitled The Man in the Coat too. Just so you know. Gosh. Prepositions in the English language are just complex. Ambiguous, to be particular. I've been speaking the language since I was born, yet here we are, confused even of the littlest of things. A cat in a hat, for goodness sake. Well, if it actually makes you feel better, it's not just the English language that is complex. All of the languages in this world are complex, Justine. I mean, in is only much a preposition, but more of the other factors that one needs to consider in order to speak a language. Grammar in itself, pronunciation, even the jokes, my god, even the jokes literally. Like Swedish, for instance, their beginner vocabularies, sjuksköterska. It means a medical assistant to the doctor. That's literally nurse in English. You know what? It took me the whole day just to master that, and now I'm spiraling downwards again. You know what? You're bonkers. That didn't make me feel any better, jeez. But you know, at least that's nowhere near difficult in keeping up with how many literally you're saying. Well, that's literally annoying of you. But you know what's more difficult? What then? A world with no cat in the hat, huh? A world with no, literally, a world with no sjuksköterska. What? A world without words. Without language. This is your Ponder podcast brought to you by Justine and Justify. Please. So, Justine, what do you think about that? Weirdly, that actually got me thinking. Isn't that the purpose of it? Oh God. Come on, even just a squeeze from our little thought experiment. You know, if we actually try to go back to the point of our very beginning, our conception of language has still yet to exist. As human beings, ever since, we have inherent in us communication. We always have had the need to connect to others of our kind. Okay, go ahead. Yet, our conception of language is quite late in comparison to our ability to communicate, I guess. So, don't you think that we can compartmentalize our sole reliance on communication from language itself? If it isn't actually our intention to use language in the first place, just so we can communicate, then maybe we can do off without it then. I would like to differ from what you have said and asked, politely. Our conception of language is not late, not later than our conception of communication, nor even our ability to communicate itself, because ever since we have been using both. It's just that we haven't yet reached a time in which we pertain to what we are using to communicate or socialize as language. And Justine, compartmentalizing communication and language will be an astronomical stretch to possibility, don't you think? Our intentions and actions, yes, are generally streamlined to communication, to connecting to others, even to oneself. But the question is how then? How exactly? Language, that is. Both communication and language, as its premium medium, of course, are completely inseparable. They're glued together universally, and that's that. So what's your verdict then? Is it possible for us without language? Obviously no, we can't. Language is just there, yes? Language is like eyes for sight, like ears for audio. If you imagine a world without language, it's like existing in a vacuum, silent, dark, meaningless. It's better to not even exist at all. Because without it, you won't even be able to perceive, to feel, to think, to express, even to have this conversation with you, nor use the words coming out of my mouth to describe and explain things, because there will be no such things that will do. Nothing, as in nothing. If there is no language, nothing. Yes, I agree with that. As humans, as sentient beings, it would be impossible to live. Even knowing oneself would take such process into a grave. God, such thoughts of such things would just take us into a never-ending carousel of confusion, don't you think? But truly, a world without language is just impossible. Even imagining it is just as taxing. However, what we might be sure of is that our world would not be like anything as it is today. Even our history, if it isn't for language, there would not be ideas, letters, writings, inventions, revolutions, policies, whole civilizations, technology, both ancient and modern. There won't be anything to probe from us humans without it. I certainly do agree with that. But what I think language, if not brought and maybe contributed to us sentient beings, is value. Through it, we gain more meaning, more depth, rather than just a simple ostensive perception. Through language, we were able to extend our intention to our surroundings, even to ourselves, a purpose ahead of our ability to produce bodily sounds. Maybe that is why we are at where we are presently. I could not agree more with that, Justine. But language, for us humans, has also become a weapon, yeah? Apart from the tool we first considered it to be. Well, that's right. That's right. It's always the one released first when there are battles and wars, even in simple misunderstandings. You got the point. Language, as natural as it is to us, is also an instrument for chaos. That's true. Sometimes, no, scratch that, most of the time even, between a person and another, what one cannot understand from someone else can be a root of war. And it all tones down to language. Oh, wow. Well, needless to say, as much as language is essential to our advantage, it is also as essential to our disadvantage, especially that we have so much in our hands. Roughly 6,500 languages in the world, as far as I know. Such example is a dilemma of one language to another. That is what Willard Van Orman Quine is particularly concerned about. It is what he calls the indeterminacy of translation of language. It states that it is impossible to completely translate from one language to another. Basically, one cannot translate from one language to another without destabilizing grammar, references, and interpretations. It always lacks. So justify. What can put resolve to such misunderstandings then? If there are tons of cases in which we cannot fully make another human understand what we are trying to say, so what? Well, what do you think? I don't know. Language. There you are. What? Language. You couldn't be more correct, you know? It's language that can aid such misunderstandings too. Very paradoxical, actually. If it has been described as a machine of war, before that, it is also a beacon of peace. So in communication, what we must do is to not just silver-line language to its technical aspects, such as grammar, but we must also relate it to the tenets of culture, beliefs, and basically to heed it to empathy so that we may meet whoever we are talking to at the very middle of the line. Gosh, I wasn't made aware until now how deep language truly is. That's right. Language is as complex, diverse, and versatile as it is with humanity. It's something that you cannot rid the society of ever, even the sake of our social institutions, culture, religion, politics, education. None of those can ever exist if it wasn't for language in the first place. It actually made me ponder about how language is very much like a spark to a forest fire. It allows whatever concept, whatever object to begin. And once it does, it's unstoppable. Very much how language started this conversation from something very basic to something almost complex as it is unexplainable. Well, good you noticed too. Bloody shanks, I did. But don't you think language was made too overrated in this conversation? Nope. We just feel like it because most of the time it's just left unexplained. But if ever it is truly overrated, well, it deserves it. Remember that language is as universal as it can be. Humanity's true alpha and omega. The beginning and the ending. Damn right you are. But that cat in the hat is definitely something else. It is indeed. This is your Ponder podcast brought to you by Justine and Justify. Peace, peace, peace.